Hi legend, and welcome to my channel. Today we are talking about the Aviation cocktail and the Aviation Gin and why are these two kind of intertwined, even if not exactly. So let's just jump into it right now. So Aviation cocktail, it's definitely a classic cocktail. It was born a different century and it's a gin based. So for this we are going to use quite a strong base, so let's say a good 50 milliliter. And then some maraschino. I'm using the Luxardo from Padova, around like 15 milliliter. It's a bone dry kind of sweetness, so it's a little bit fancy and it's nice. Now I should be using even a touch of violet liquor, but I will use it in a different way. I will show you now. In case you use it, just use a touch more than a bar spoon or something like this. To complete, a good 30 milliliter of citrus juice, in this case, which is a personal blend of lime and lemon to keep up with the seasonality of the ingredients. And now let's go. Here we are. Shake like no tomorrow. Okay. A nice chilled cube. A good strain, because this will come out a little bit like an ice cream when it's shaken. Very hard. Like, look, you can make a granite out of this. It's amazing. Okay. And then a nice maraschino for garnish. These one are homemade, they have different kicks of flavor and stuff, so they are not the classic ones. And then what you really want to add on top, is a nice lemon zest. If you spray it on top of the glass, you are going to release a little bit of extra oils, so it makes a lot of sense. Then you can just drop it inside. It's not necessary to do what I'm doing, but I quite like carving, so you can do them pretty simply once you get used to it, even in a very fast-paced kind of weekend night. So all of this will make it a very nice Aviation cocktail, but first spray some violet as well. Beautiful. The reason for you to enjoy, the reason why violet liqueur and Eric Reddock are very important, maybe you heard of him, are because of the history of this cocktail. So this cocktail was created, was figuring the first time in the New York version 1916 of Hugo Ensslin, Recipes of Mixed Drinks. In this, it was finally putting this beautiful cocktail into his book, but then it became very popular, especially in Europe, because it got switched, and Eric Reddock, a very famous head bartender of the Savoy Hotel in the 1930 cocktail book, figured that violet liqueur, which now you can order anywhere in the world, was highly unavailable and very difficult to find. So what they had to do was to basically remove it, and that's when it actually started picking up. So nowadays you can use the violet liquor, but surely you can ask for the extra question to customers, or in case you are home to your friends, whether they wanted the violet liqueur or not, you can make it in a very posh and classy way, saying, would you like an aviation before craddock changes or after craddock changes? And that means violet liqueur or not. Simple as that. Now, why is the aviation gin called Aviation? So it's like, are you joking? Is it the same name? And the reason is, yes, it's exactly the same name. And the reason is because it was a project from the very famous Seattle bartender Ryan Margarian. In 2002, he started getting in contact with the distillery from Oregon that was mainly doing vodka, and they just put themselves together with this project for which they wanted to have the aviation cocktail-friendly type of gin. So that's why. The reason why you know about the aviation gin, and that's the reason why everybody else knows, is because Ryan Reynolds in 2018 he actually bought into the distillery a good chunk of ownership, and later, a couple of years after, in 2020, just a couple of years after, a la George Clooney, in another video we'll tell you what the Casamigos tequila and mezcal is, he decided to sell to Diageo, the biggest company of spirits in the world, and that's when it really went to become viral and popular. The flavor profile that I will explain you in just a moment. Let's just drink it. The flavor profile, it's made to match this cocktail specifically, and that's the base. So what do you want? You want it to be not very perfumed, because you are going to use the creme de violet, which you can get everywhere in the world. And then you want it to be kind of a little bit soft, because you're going to put quite some, and it needs to blend also with the maraschino flavor and the citrus flavor, so you don't need that one. So there are like sweet oranges in the mix, kind of like mint, it's balsamic, there is a touch of lavender, there's everything that would go well in this cocktail specifically. So a very good upselling technique that you can do with customers is saying, hey, would you like it with the aviation gin, is that correct? Yes, and then most likely it's going to be pricier than your top shelf. Anyway. Yeah, it's blending very well, it's quite soft, so it's easy to drink. It punches a little bit with the alcohol, which makes sense because you are going to play with the maraschino, the lemon and all the other aromas to get it together. So, thank you very much for watching. Please check the links below, there's quite some interesting ones, and see you next video.